First movie out the box, of course, is The Old Guard 2. Andy, or Andromache, played by Charlize Theron, leads her immortal warriors against a powerful enemy threatening to expose their existence. Their mission grows more complicated with the resurfacing of a long lost immortal who can change everything. Charles, I'll let you start off, man, on the
No, you
old
won't,
guard.
because I still have not seen this film. I didn't get it from Netflix, and I know it's on Netflix now, but I
Okay.
still haven't had the opportunity to watch it, so it's on you.
All right, I got it, man. All right, so again, if you watch the original Old Guard 2, I'm sorry, the original Old Guard, the Old Guard is pretty much the story of a group of immortals led by Charlize Theron's character, Andy for short, but her real name is Andromache Scyth, however it's pronounced. And in the original film, it was speculated that she was probably about 1,200 years old. Like I think through some hints. Charles, when you watch it, you find out that she's far older than that.
Oh.
And yeah, I mean, so it's a really interesting, I think, and I'll get to the end of what my opinion of this is. But this movie is all about giving you, like the first movie was about introducing you to what it would feel like to be immortal, right? The second movie deals with the consequences of immortality and the fact of people who are immortal who there are certain rules and certain things we learn through new characters that are inserted into part two that
Hmm.
talk about the responsibility of what it feels like to be an immortal, right? So it's not
Right.
necessarily, Charles, just about you being in your own silo and you just living your life and making as much money as you can make and staying alive and staying under the radar. There's a certain band and responsibility to change the course of the world, which was touched on at the end of the first one of how everything that these immortals were doing, the character of Chiwetel Ejiofor kind of went and figured out that like for everything they did, there were ripples that would come 3, 4, 5 generations later of change that Andy and her team were implementing. So now in the second one, Chiwetel Ejiofor is now a part of the team, right? And
Hmm.
if you also remember in part one, there was a companion of Andy's who was jailed and locked in some sort of crude device and dropped to the bottom of the ocean. You remember that, Charles?
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
so, of course, now she's in the second one. And there's also a new character played by Uma Thurman, who literally is the first immortal and the oldest of all the immortals, Charles.
What?
So, I'm trying to do this in a way to not put any spoilers in this, but let's just say when you find out how old she is, there is a wonderful scene where she's in the church and she's staring at the crucifixion. And she was like, yeah, I was there that day, man. That was a real day. I was like, wait a second. So she was there that day, and Charles, and maybe a millennia before that. So
Wow.
we're talking, when you talk about immortals in part two, you really start to understand and grasp who these characters are. And then there's one more character who is the keeper of immortal history, right? So he literally has written a story about all the immortals,
So,
and
but he's immortal too.
he's immortal too. And his name is Tua in the character. And I forget what the gentleman's name is, but you start to figure out that there's a connection between the character called Discord, that's played by Uma Thurman, who's the oldest immortal, and now the youngest immortal, Kiki Lane, who, God, I may get in trouble for some of this, man, because I don't know how much of this I'm supposed to reveal, man, for people who haven't watched it. So there's a connection. I'll just say there's a connection between these two characters that's very, very important, which will be explored in Old Guard 3. Now, if there's not an Old Guard 3, it's going to really invalidate a lot of Old Guard 2. I'm just going to tell you that now. I mean, because the way this film sort of like what it means, and I call it a glue movie. A glue movie is a term I came up with about 25 years ago when Lord of the Rings dropped, right? And I thought Two Towers was the perfect glue movie between the Fellowship of the Ring and what was the last one called? The Return of the King. So the
Return of the
Fellowship of
King.
the Ring, which was number one, the Return of the King was number three. Two Towers is the glue movie, right? It's not. It has some information in it, but its primary mission is to be the second movie to connect movies one and three. It feels
Mm,
like Old Guard 2 is the glue movie connecting the first movie, which is really, really important in the introduction of these characters, and the third movie, which is going to be the resolution of these stories, right? The
right.
other thing that I will add before I get out of here is that I'm surprised by one thing, and every time I watch the Old Guard, it surprises me because if you've got Netflix, like we do, right? There are so many series that are on Netflix that I think are just better movies, right? I don't know why you did a series. You could have just made a movie out of that, right? The Old Guard is in reverse. The Old Guard, to me, Charles, would have worked better if it was 6 to 8 episodes where you could really drill down and like have a season where you could spend 3.5, 4, 5 hours with these characters and let them breathe and their adventures. So I've never understood why they elected to use the format of making them as movies versus his limited series. It boggles my mind because every time I watch it and it gets to the end, I go, "Dang, I wish there was more story that I could watch here." This is it begs for more story, but this one is a glue movie, Charles. I gave it a B minus. There are some very good action scenes. Of course, Victoria Mahoney takes over for Gina Prince Bythewood. She's already announced that if they're making a third one, once it's greenlit, she's got 6 or 7 years worth of projects that she's committed to, so she's not coming back. I'm hoping that after is it Blood and Bone, the new Gina Prince Bythewood movie that's dropping
Yeah.
next year, that Gina Prince Bythewood needs to come back to this story because it needs that level of kind of execution, that level of sensibility for the story. But I thought the Old Guard was good. The only reason why I went with the B minus, and when you watch it, you'll see, is that the way it felt like they just left you hanging, man. It's almost like you didn't even look, Charles, you didn't even try to resolve it to kind of like say maybe, maybe not. You just went whoosh, and I was like, that's it. That's the so yeah, man. So, but I still like what I saw, and I learned a lot more about these characters. So, 2 points. It should have been a series versus a movie. And as a glue movie, I thought there was some good information in it. And I don't and now I'm saying Netflix, come on, man. You gotta make Old Guard 3. You can't leave me with what you left me with Old Guard 2, because I'm gonna be real upset about this if there's not a third film in this series.